Hey guys, Amir here from Man United Nation with the third in our preview series for the upcoming Premier League 2015-16 campaign. First part of the preview is going to be Bournemouth today and then Chelsea. I know I'm a couple of days behind. I wasn't feeling well, so I wasn't able to make videos. Anyways, let's start off with Bournemouth. So Bournemouth left off last season as the winners of the Sky Bet Championship, which is the division below the Premier League for the people who don't know. They won the league on 90 points. Behind them, it was on 89 points. We had, sorry, I don't remember. I have to look it up real quick. Behind them, we had Watford. Watford finished on 89 points, followed by Norwich on 86 and third. So they finished well clear of the playoff spots, and yet they didn't finish too far ahead of the second place team. So, all in all, they had a good season last year. They have a young manager, Eddie Howe, and so that's going to be vital for them in the upcoming season. Where they're hoping to go, they just want to survive this year, honestly. Last year, they weren't really significant in the Cups. They didn't really do anything. I don't expect them to do anything in the Cups this year either. Their sole goal is survival in the Barclays Premier League. As far as transfers in, they have brought in, on permanent transfers, Arthur Boric from Southampton, free transfer. Sylvain Distin from Everton, free transfer. Adam Federici, Reading, free transfer. Joshua King, Blackburn Rovers, free transfer. He used to play for United, by the way. Tyrone Mings from Ipswich Town for $8 million. And they've also brought in on loan from Chelsea, Christian Atsu, and Filippo Costa from Chievo Verona on loan as well. So those are their ins. As far as these players go, for me, it's going to be between Boric and Federici for the starting spot next season. I don't rate Boric anymore. I think he was at his best at Celtic. So for me, I'm going to say Federici should probably be starting in goal, which is probably going to be a little bit controversial. And then the other one is going to be a capable backup. As far as Distin goes, I think he's going to add experience to their defense. At the same time, I don't think you can rely on him to help keep you up. Then you've got Joshua King. The guy's got immense pace. He's going to do really well there, I have a feeling. I think he'll probably score a couple of goals, get a couple of assists, and he'll prove himself as a vital part of their team in the upcoming year. Tyrone Mings at left back, their big transfer. I think he is a very solid player. Mick McCarthy did great things with him at Ipswich, and I think he's going to have a very good season there at left back. So as far as the loans in, another left back, Filippo Costa, he's probably going to play back up to Mings. And then you've got Christian Atsu, and Atsu, in my opinion, is going to be one of the better players on this team. Yet I don't think he's going to do very much for them. He wasn't very good last year at Everton on loan. So while I think Bournemouth is a team that's going to suit him a little bit more towards his level at the moment, I don't feel like he's going to be a vital contributor to this team. To the extent that you would need to survive in the Premier League. I think that they still have much strengthening to do if they want to have any hope of staying up. As far as transfers out go, they've let go of a bunch of youngsters, a bunch of fringe players. Really, the only consequential departure from the club is Brett Pittman, who is a forward who has joined Ipswich. And Pittman scored 14 goals in 39 appearances for them last season, so he's going to be a big miss. It's a big chunk of their team gone. They're hoping, I'm guessing, that between Atsu and Joshua King, they can fill those goals. I'm not really confident that either of those players are going to adequately bed in and be such a good replacement. I think that Pittman, while he's not Premier League quality, I don't think that he is. I don't think he's so inconsequential to their team that between the two of them they can fill his gap. So while they're probably thinking they've gotten an upgrade in quality, and that's probably true, they haven't gotten an upgrade in synergy, and I think that the quality isn't big enough of a leap that it would make up for the lack of synergy. So I think, honestly, they've strengthened the squad a little bit. They're not too much stronger than they were at the end of last season. They're going to have some difficulties this year, no doubt about that. As far as their manager, like I said earlier, it's Eddie Howe. He's a young manager. He was manager of Bournemouth. He went to Burnley. Didn't really work out. He went back to Bournemouth. He's done great things there, gotten them great promotions. That said, Eddie Howe is also a young manager. He has no Premier League experience. And when he was thrown in at championship level for the first time at Burnley, he didn't do very well. So I don't think that he's going to be a revelation next year. I don't think this is a team that's going to, say, do a Swansea or a Stoke. And we're all going to be looking at them at the end of the year and saying, oh my God, how did they do that? I think this is a team that's going to struggle to stay up and might just do it. Really, to me, they're a slightly different version of Burnley. which I know isn't exactly a fair comparison considering how much more British the squad is at Turf Moor these days with Sean Dyche. But that said, I do think that they're going to struggle like Burnley. And to find out what I think is going to happen, I'm going to have to watch the last video in this series. As far as the squad goes, as I've mentioned before, they've brought in several new signings. Their squad from last season is by and large intact. Their key players last year were Jan Kermogant. Sorry, I'm not good with his name. He scored 17 goals last year in 42 appearances. Also, Matt Ritchie. I don't know if you guys know him from his days at Swindon Town. 15 goals in 51 appearances last season. And you're going to see also they have the striker Callum Wilson, who scored 23 goals in 50 appearances. So there's definitely goals in this team at the championship level. The question is whether they can translate to the Premier League. Because remember, for every Charlie Austin and Danny Ings, there's also Sylvain Ebanks-Blake. I think this is a team that's probably going to end up playing a 4-2-3-1 formation. They're probably going to have Arthur Boric in goal. He was on loan there for part of the season last year, let's not forget. For me, though, I would probably start Betteridge. I think Boric is prone to a howler, as we've seen at Southampton. Francis at right back, Elphick and Cook in the centre back positions. Probably Tyrone Mings will slot in at left back, Sermon and Arter in midfield, and then the three behind the striker will be Matt Ritchie, Kermogant, and Pugh, and then you're going to have Wilson up front. Pugh's place actually might be taken by Christian Atsu or Joshua King, now that I think about it. This is a squad that has plenty of quantity, not enough quality. The standout players, as I mentioned before, are going to be the striker, who is Wilson, and then Kermogant and Ritchie will probably be the three standouts up front. The goalkeeper will have to be important, and I'd expect Tyrone Mings to do good things for them at left back this upcoming season. And then as far as the weak links in the squad, that midfield, Sermon and Arter, is not proven in the Premier League. I think they're going to struggle to adapt, and honestly, I think they could use a quality player in there. As far as the strengths of the squad go, it has to be probably the cohesion that the club has had over the past couple of years and the stability, but I don't think that'll necessarily be something that's going to manifest itself as too many points. It's a relatively weak strength, but they don't have too many for me to go off of. As far as challenges, it's definitely going to be the lack of experience that Eddie Howe has as a manager in the Premier League, and also the other challenge for me is going to be the lack of quality in the squad. Much like Burnley, they don't have that quality. And unless someone turns it on like Danny Ings did for Burnley last season, this is a squad that could go on and really sink far down below everyone else. So for my money, Bournemouth are going to need many more signings between now and the end of the season who are proven Premier League quality, who are not players in the twilight of their career looking for a payday. They need a couple of strong players to basically build a spine through this team. Short of that, it's going to be a very difficult campaign for Bournemouth. Whether or not I think they'll survive, you'll find out in the last video in this series. Thanks for watching.